Hey, welcome, all my right thinkers. Thanks for tuning in to check out your boy, P Farm. Thinking right out here in my lab. Got my teaching hat on. You know what it's time to do. The teacher's on duty. You better hear me good. I got my yacht philosophy for you. We rolling. Let's go. Right is 25 rules to live by. Storytelling. Story with a message. There's always a message in my stories for life. I give you life lessons. You tuning in and receiving them. I appreciate you. We got a good thing going. Let's do what we do. Right thinking mission is to enlighten, inspire, educate, and motivate you, the individual, to a higher spiritual level of enlightenment. Right thinkers way of life through mental and spiritual discipline, practice daily will help and guide you to obtain your goal of reaching spiritual enlightenment, aka know thyself. My mission is that all right thinkers know thyself. If you're a right thinker, your goal is to, know thyself. You see where we're going with this? So let's get there together. And I ask the question, do you know you? You will when I get through. That's what I do. It's rhetorical, but if you don't have the answer for yourself, tune in. I got you. A person who knows not and knows not that they know not is foolish. Disregard them. Don't be them. A person who knows not and knows that they know not is simple, but you can teach them. That's why I do what I do for you. I appreciate you too. Stay tuned. I got more for you. A person who knows not and believe and think that they know is dangerous. Avoid them. I do. A person who knows and knows not that they know is spiritually asleep. I can awaken them. I'm the spiritual alarm clock here to wake you up with knowledge of self. That's what I do for you. A person who knows and knows that they know is wise. Follow them. All these persons reside in you. Right thinkers, know thyself and to my yacht be true. Oh, I just love it. All right, we still rocking. My yacht's introduction to my yacht philosophy. That's the path to of action and spiritual enlightenment. These are life lessons that I learned. I'm giving it to you. Now we're going to talk about, P-Funk philosophy on self-mastery is obtaining spiritual and material wealth. Check this out. Oh, when you do that, that's what it's all about. And you got to practice your spiritual disciplines daily to master them, okay? Live by them. Stand on them. That's what my art represents, balance. And you can stand on her, okay? Her principles, her philosophy, stand on them. Okay, yeah, they're strong. Now, even though people who live and acquire wealth in their satanian manner, he was, my man was rich until the day he died. He never denied me a dime. Always made me pay it back, but he always had it. Okay, he would lend. He would no. He giving. He lending. He taught me how to be a good paymaster. So I learned that lesson in life. If somebody give you or help you out of a situation, return it by giving back what you got from them, like you said you would when you needed it. That's why I don't do the loaning thing. I don't got time for that. Moving on. I'm not gonna try to make money off of money that way. I give you $100, you give me back 150. That's loan sharking. I don't do that. But when you get wealthy on that tip, what happens? It seems happy and wealthy, but in reality, what's this? There is unrest and there is in their hearts and minds. Why? In fact, most of the people who have been convinced that wealth is our brings happiness. I got money, I'm happy. I'm rich, I'm happy. And this is the new view of what? Our ignorance. Because they're promoted by society and at large for what? Mass media, social media. They got y'all so messed up. Now, while there is ain't nothing wrong, again, there's nothing wrong. This is going to be the title of this lesson. There's nothing wrong with having spiritual and material wealth. Nothing. How you obtain it is your business, and you got to be responsible for that. You guys, you preachers who get all the donation from the people because you sell them a bill of goods and they all caught up and they giving you their money, so you ain't robbing them, you ain't you fleecing them, they giving it to you, stroking them, and they giving you money. Okay, fine, but how you do what you do, that's on you. You're responsible for that. So buying jets and big mansions, you ain't serving the people, you serving yourself. God ain't got no big mansion. Oh yes, you do, mansion, many rooms that y'all take. Yeah, but that's man's ideas, that ain't God's. So most people who are wealthy materially, but they're ignorant spiritually. Okay, and the truth becomes dependent, and they are attached to what their wealth as the source of pleasure and their happiness, and therefore they are bound to pursue and hoard and protect what their wealth, that money, in order for them to be happy. My man, P Diddy and the Fat Boy, Biggie, more money, more problems. But my brothers say, more money, the more problems you can take care of with money. If I got money, why should I have problems? If I got money, I ain't got to sell drugs. So, well, how you get that money? That's how I got my money when I had it like that. But yeah, but you think having that money make you happy? Yeah, momentarily, I was happy as a pig in the trap until the what? Time to pay out. When you wheeling and dealing, you having fun, yeah, but it's a price that comes with that. And a lot of people, that's the fine print. They don't tell you that till you get there. Well, I know, it's in the contract. You just didn't read it, okay? But however, this happiness and that kind of happiness, which requires continued what? Mental agitation, worrying about when the next foot gonna fall, when they gonna catch up with you, when is it all gonna come crashing down. You worrying is not happiness at all. If you got to worry about your wealth, you got to worry about protecting your money. How'd you get it? I'm just saying. So if you develop and you become prosperous through the situations of yourself and your own, I don't knock another man hustle. How you make your money ain't no business of mine. Because you ain't making off of me, so I could care less. Again, Michael Jackson. I ain't about never one of his albums. I didn't stop him from selling millions. Again, understand that. Everything is self. So if you're prosperous for your situation, however you made it that way, okay, now your worries and your anxieties will not protect you from what? These your addictions of the flesh, your cravings, and your other egoistic forms that will bring pain to you, which the world is bound for with. The world is full of things that you can get involved in that you can get messed up on. So therefore, real happiness, and happiness is consequently what? True wealth. If you happy with yourself, if you happy in your life situation, you really need money? I don't have money. I don't need money. Well, I got wealth and spiritual concepts, and I'm fine with that. Okay? Money just means you can buy stuff. I ain't big on stuff. I'm good being blessed on a daily basis. But it is not to be found, true wealth is not to be found in objects or possessions of the world. Nothing I own will make me happiness. No, it's just things that I accumulated that I particularly care for. When I die, this means nothing to nobody. I've seen people go through dead people's stuff. I can't do that. So that's just it. So when you leave here, everything you got stays here. You ain't taking nothing with you. So accumulate a bunch of stuff that we don't set well with me personally. I got books. I'm leaving you books. My man left me alone. At least I'm leaving you books. All right. But it's a state of what? Of mind, which can be discovered through what? Spiritual discipline, and you gain spiritual insight by living right. The impressions that's lodged in your unconscious mind from a storehouse of what? Restless, egoistic desires from your past lives that will lead you to what? Repeated embodiments, aka reincarnation, and it will deprive you from being able to discover true peace within yourself. That's your biggest enemy, your ego. We don't know that. The enemy outside of you, no, it's the enemy within. I gave you that lesson too. Haru and Set. Set is the ego. If he's in charge of you, you got problems. All right? But when you get into situations, when you become enlightened, you're trying to be a better you ask these questions. You ask yourself, do I need this relationship with this broad who I know look good, sound good, but she crazy as a bag of rocks? Do I need that in my life, or this object, or is it just to satisfy, okay, my egoistic desires for the flesh? That's lust. And if it looks good, Sounds good. Oh, you down that road now. You don't went to second base. You gonna keep going. You gonna keep going until you get home. And those are pleasures, or sometimes just greed. You just left because you think you could. You know you could. So I'm gonna get that. That's ego. That's ego. That's ego. Self pleasures is always driven by the ego. Spiritual people don't do that. Good people, good-hearted people don't do that. Light-hearted people don't indulge in those things. That's why the heart is light. But it is this action, that particular action of the ego, and I'm about to do, going to help me simplify my life. Is it going to complicate or is it going to simplify my life? Those are the decisions that you should be making before you get involved, not after. My life, is it going to add or simplify my life, or will it complicate it more? Yeah, ding, 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 ding. It's hard to say. When something looks good and sound good, you pretty think it's going, but then you get a little close, like, whoa, whoa, whoa. But you in deep now, you can't get out. You done started that thing. So understand that. Get all of the warning signs out the way before you cross that threshold of no return. Waking up in the morning and realizing, oh, too late, too late. Deed is done. Moving on. All right. But you will bring peace. Excuse me. Will it bring me peace of mind, or will it cause me agitation? And it will every time. No peace, guaranteed agitation. Guaranteed frustration, pain, a whole bunch of humiliation that you got to deal with. What? Because you want to satisfy your pleasures. You want to satisfy those urges. You want to get what you saw and it looked good, so you had to have it. Now you got to deal with the consequences of that, ladies and gentlemen. That Mr. looks so good at Saturday night, 2, 3 in the morning. He don't look so good at 6 in the morning. Or she don't look that good. Okay. Whoa, what? Yeah, too late. Looked good last night though. 6 become a 10 at a certain hour. You know this is true. You know the rules of the game. All right. But if it's for your ego, in most sexual pleasures, it's all based on ego. If you have a mate, you have to go out looking for pleasures in the flesh. Why you got that already at home? But the ego said, man, go out and get yourself something. Okay? And it's always a what? Waste of time. After you realize that, after you do it, you realize, how about realizing before you do it and don't do it? I can't stand a guy stay out all night. The husband come home in the morning with flowers. Tell my baby, I love you. Take the flowers and take your ass back to wherever you was. Love me by coming home at night. Don't love me after you stayed out all night. That ain't love. Okay? Been there, done that too. How would that dude know? I seen it. I'm like, who does that? You love me. You been out all night. Moving on. Okay. But dealing with them kind of people, waste of time. Why? Because their ego cannot be satisfied. You can't change them. They're going to satisfy themselves. They're going to do what pleases them and nobody else. So you leave them be. That's all you can do. Since it is an endless pit of what? Sexual urges and desires that they're going to keep fulfilling. He like young girls. Not they were molesting them, but he like young girls. He like them pretty young. Yeah, he likes them. Dude. That's just, again, I can't force my opinion on what I think on somebody who I watch them do. I'm nothing like that. I don't like no kids. I don't do kids. Okay. But it's an endless pit of what? Keep chasing your tail, or a bus going around and around and going nowhere. Okay. But you pleasure, you satisfied, sexually happy. So this process for losers in life is introspection, and its self-awareness will begin to break this cycle of action that's performed out of egoistic and weak will, and your ignorance will only lead to what? More pain and suffering as you go on. It's not going to change if you don't change. That's why you can't change people or want people to change until they want it for themselves. Choosing, an occupation. I got a nice little paragraph for that, and I shut it down. But then we're going to go to sacred purity of heart through living a life of simplicity. Simplify your life. Stop all the nonsense and get focused, and you'll be successful. But let's talk right quick. Choosing an occupation, one that you like to do. That ain't work. My daughter's the professor of environmental study. She loves what she's doing. Why she spent 10, 12 years practicing for it. Now she got it and she loves it. I love that. Okay. Many people are really afraid to choose certain occupations, which is what they would really like to be doing. Why? Because of fear, ignorance, okay, and no willpower, no self-determination. They let people scare them out. I was as a Mason. We would tell guys how bad it's going to be to get to the third degree. They would back out. If you a punk, I don't want you in my camp anyway. So I did that to chest your medal. My man asked me, can you take an ass whooping? Well, I dipped a few out, but I've taken a few. Yeah, I'm good. All right. But that ain't the question with me being at that Mason. I didn't join his order. I joined another order. But that was his question to get me in. Dude, I ain't trying to take no. I ain't no fraternity. I ain't no frat man. Okay, I went to college. I ain't no frat dude. Whipping my ass ain't question or giving me no knowledge at all. And I saw it being done in the Masonic order. I stopped that nonsense personally. Okay, but when you let people scare you out for things you want to do, where their next meal, you worry about making enough money, to survive. Worry about where their next meal may come from. How can they support themselves, and so forth and so on. But didn't Jesus say to you guys in Matthew 6:28, and why are you anxious for remain? Consider the lilies of the field and how they grow. They toil not, neither do they spin. Verse 29, 6:29, Matthew. And yet I say to you that even Solomon in all his glory and wisdom was not arrogant like any one of us. 30. Wherefore, if God so clotheth the grass on the field, which today is and tomorrow is cast into the oven, shall he not much more clothe you, O ye of little faith? The boys in the oven, these are all stories to give you faith-based concept and how they're supposed to be. This didn't really happen. You put 4 kids in the oven, they're going to burn the hell up. I saw a 4th one in there. Yeah, okay. Stop with that. And you need to tell your followers of that book that this is not literal. Everything in that book is allegorical, mythological, and astrological, not literal. Why y'all making that book literal? I can't understand for the life of me. That's where you go wrong at. So, moving on. Let me get this lesson out the way again. That's how I look at that. But he said a bunch of good stuff. Y'all don't understand what he's saying. No, y'all don't. That's why the minister get it and break it down for you. I do that every day. If I did the Bible, y'all call me Minister Wright. Simple as that. Why? I be a preacher. I don't preach, I'm a teacher. That's why I'm doing the same thing, just with different books. Okay? But my teaching, and this teaching is in all, my philosophy in the teachings exists in all your major philosophies and religions. The goal is to get you to know God. The goal is to get you to God, a.k.a. the source. That's what everybody's trying to do. And everybody do it a little different, but that's everybody's goal and intent. That's why I respect religion. I know the purpose of it. Those who practice it and follow it, that's on y'all. Okay. But my task, and your task as the aspirant, and I was one 20 years ago, is to go beyond your fears of your human existence. Your lower nature limits you. Okay, your ego has a limit. It has a roof that it won't go past. Well, it can't. There's a limit. But this is done by you adopting the daily study of your spiritual teachings. I study daily. Okay, and reflecting upon them with the assistance of your spiritual preceptor. That would be me. Any questions you got about anything that I say here, you can question me and I'll answer it for you. And you know I respond to all my comments. But you have to gradually, discover an occupation that resonates with your eternal feeling. Something that if you like helping people, get into the help situation. You like doing things, get into the service, but find what works for you. That's all we're saying, and then give it your best effort. Be the best you could at whatever you're doing. My mom told me, if you shoveling shit, you be the best shit shoveler you can be. I loaded UPS trucks. I'm the best loader in UPS. I put that in perspective, okay? So, but it's the same concept, no matter how you use it, ideas to do it for yourself. And you will find something that you would do if what you're doing, you would even doing if you wasn't paid. Back in my day, football players felt that way about football. They loved the game. They loved the game. And getting paid for it was, adverse result, a reward. But they loved it so much they would do it for free. Now, these people, if you ain't paying, I ain't playing. So they pay for play. Simple. And when this happens in your life, you will not be motivated by selfish motives, and your work itself will be rewarding to you. And that's, I'm telling you right now, it will be rewarding to you and to society. Why? Because what you're doing is good, helping people. I'm getting to 250 people a day. I ain't got a problem with that. It was 75, so we have more people tuning in. I get more people listening to my concept and follow my philosophy. That's what I do it for. Numbers, it's all about this numbers game, okay? And the numbers are going good. I appreciate you. That's why I keep creating my content and keep pumping it out there. Why? Somebody's interested, and I'm here to serve. All right. But now you will begin to be able to discover a form of what we know to be peace, internal, which is not achieved by most people. A lot of us ain't going to be our best self. We're not going to reach our full potential. Why? Ego. That's why. And the ego is your bugaboo. And he don't care, right? But this will assist you to have a peaceful disposition will allow you to be able to now progress further in your spiritual discipline and your spiritual walk to get spiritual enlightenment. These are the things that you need to be doing. So don't worry. You are a child of God. And when you tread this path of Mayat, which is spiritual aspects, right thinkers, even though it may be difficult, and it's going to be at some time, okay, but you will be provided for. Blessings is being provided for. Y'all claimed y'all was in the desert for 40 years. Imagine being in the desert for 40 years, day in and day out in the desert. Where the hell you going? Where the hell could y'all do? Go around a circle for 40 years? The desert ain't that big to be 40 years. What? Where you? Calm down. But again, they were provided for because they believed in God, so they had manna. You heard about that? Okay. But this is all spiritual concept, and they want you to understand the teachers, and they want you to just believe no matter how many times you fail in life, you should gradually incorporate lessons learned from the failures, and you add that to your daily meditation, your recitations of your words of power, talk to yourself, motivate yourself, and you study the scriptures. You study. People look at their Bible. Some people, I read the Bible every day. And what you learning? I don't know. Sorry. Y'all got a little book, Food for Thought, 365 days. I'm giving you that. That's my whole purpose. I'm no bread, what is it? Bread of life, what y'all call it. But these are life lessons. When we people who teach, we do this, okay? But your job is to study the scriptures for yourself and gain some kind of understanding and have remembrance of who? The divine throughout your day. I'm God conscious. I do not take God out of my mind. I do not take my mind off of God. Ignorant mind is the devil's workshop. I stay with God. Okay, I'm conscious of who I am all the time. You should be too. And now you will be led with this philosophy to what? Works which are in harmony with nature and yourself. That's what I do for you. I love doing what I do for you. That's a job that I don't mind doing every day. And no, I don't do it for the pay. Why? It ain't that much. But the reality of it is, I ain't about the money. It's about me giving you the information that you can use to be a better you. That's my intention. That's my mission. That's my lesson. I got to go. And in closing, right thinkers, may you all live to be 100. Me, 100 miles a day. So I'm none of them my right thinkers who understand how it's okay to obtain self-mastery, obtaining spiritual and material wealth. That's the right way. Trust me. It's a lot more fun when you get things you want the right way. Trust me. You don't have to worry about losing it. I had it. Let it get away. What? Didn't get it the right way. This time, she won't get away. I'll be right back.